Hi everyone, David Hallberg here, Artistic Director of the Australian Ballet, and welcome to our latest edition of Bodytorque.Digital. In this edition, we feature choreographer and dancer Chloe LEONG from Sydney Dance Company. She created an amazing piece called Self, created on Callum Linnane and Drew Hettich. There's a great interview before the premiere of the piece and some amazing behind the scenes after the piece. So stick around, watch the entire thing. Enjoy this latest edition of Bodytorque.Digital.
The piece is called Self. It's that moment in which we pause and we stop and ask ourselves, who am I? Why am I the way that I am? When we delve into the darker parts of ourselves and we take the risk, we are vulnerable, we're compassionate, we surrender and let go of this idea of who we think we are, that's when we really become our whole self. And I think that's beautiful, and that's what I wanted to explore in this piece. I've always been interested in working with two men, knowing that they have a really close bond as friends. I thought that was really important, that they had this already deep connection. And I think the curiosity that they both had was super important, because realizing that I was trying to mold my idea onto them rather than taking what they have, their uniqueness, their way of moving, and using that's when it kind of clicked. This was my first time doing film, so I was a little overwhelmed, because you can have dancers on a stage and an audience viewing it from the one point of view, but with film, there's so much possibility. There's so much possibility, and in the slightest camera angle, you can say so much. Giving the audience a human aspect to the dancers makes it so much more relatable. I think that struggle and the effort is also relatable, and I think it's also beautiful. And I'm super, super excited.
I loved working with Chloe. She was very strong on her direction of where she wanted the piece to go and to eventuate, but she was very collaborative in the sense that she was really working with the bodies that were in front of her, Drew and myself. She was always willing to modify and adjust so that we looked our best.
I think too, she created such a calm atmosphere that it was really lovely to work in. But one of the best parts that I noticed, a really small detail, but it made such a difference, was that she'd often put the work onto us and then stand back and look at the movement and then question herself. She'd turn away from us and question herself and say, what am I trying to say? And she'd reflect on her own intentions towards the piece and then develop the movement to change more to what she was trying to express.
When she would demonstrate something, she's the most fluid dancer. Oh my gosh, she's like water.
It did not look the same on us.
No. But it was actually, what was cool is we started, at least because we worked on the piece, it was like a 2-week block, I think, roughly 2 weeks, and where we would spend 2.5 hours with Chloe each day. And for the first 3 or 4 days at least, we would spend the first 10 minutes or so just improvising.
Yeah, good music.
Yeah, great music. We danced to Nick Cave, which was really cool. So it was a chance for her to see what kind of movers we were, which is nice because it's the choreographer really wanting to get to know who you are as an artist.
Yeah. But I think Chloe, she didn't really know us, but she said that she basically just wanted two people who had a good connection with one another, and that's why she chose us. And I guess we do have a good connection.
Yeah.
But even things like the improv that we're uncomfortable with, we'll put on records at each other's house on a weekend and dance around and do that anyway. So it is a safe space with one another. And then hopefully she got what she wanted, and it translates through the film of a connection between us.
Yeah, I had a great time on that final day. It was, I really enjoyed going into rehearsals with Chloe and with Drew each day, just because it was fun and it was enjoyable. And it was just nice to see her vision coming to life on that final day, and just for us to try and be there for her in that moment was really fulfilling.
We still had moments though where we struggled to look at each other without laughing.
Yeah, actually that was a struggle throughout the whole process.
We created a mess in the studio one day, and then got to a point where we couldn't make eye contact at a certain bit because we just start laughing.
Yeah.
And that was happening on the day. I was better than him.
Yeah.
I can hold it together.
That's the benefit and the pro and the con of working with your best friend, is that you're so comfortable that you can do whatever, but then it's also really easy to go to pieces, and I was shocking.
And if he from my perspective, he might break, but I won't, so it's good.
Even on the final day, there was one moment where in a shot I couldn't look at Drew, and I had to look away because I was gonna lose it every time. Sorry, Chloe.
It's important to do things digitally with dance, even though it's very different to what we do and what we practice on the daily and have always trained to do. It actually makes what we do accessible to so many other people who can't always see what we're used to in the theatre in Sydney or Melbourne or wherever. But particularly now with the internet and digital world and whatnot, it goes everywhere. And there'll be potentially kids that we never meet that we inspire through this, who then one day might be sitting where we are. And that's really important.